Hello everyone, welcome to your 5th Laravel tutorial. In the past tutorial, we looked at the Laravel folder structure and how it organizes its MVC. In this tutorial, we'll look at routes. Remember what I taught you in the past tutorial, that sometimes it's the user that determines the route. So the user is the one that will type in /about your website.com/about or whatever. Is the user that does the typing sometimes, or maybe when the user clicks a button, then there is this there is this redirection. So that is called routing. Okay, let's see how Laravel handles this. First of all, we'll have to go back to a Laravel project, and then we'll look at a very interesting folder. The folder is called routes. Alright, let me minimize all of this so that you see. And so inside our Laravel folder, you go to routes, then you click on web.php. When you click on web.php, you notice that there is just one file there, one block of code there, and this is the file where Laravel does its routing. And what does this quickly say? It says route get request. Then this is for the default. If somebody visits your url.com, if somebody just visits, I'm hosting this on my system, that's why it's localhost 8000. But if you were online, it will be something like your site.com. So when someone visits this default, what happens? That's the meaning of this slash. And what it's saying is that, hey, go and fetch a view file called welcome. And let's go to the view. Remember in the past tutorial I taught you that views are stored in resources, and then inside resources folder you have views. So when you click on views, it's saying that there is a file here called welcome.blade.php, and that's what it's saying. Go and pick that view file and display it. Now something else we could do is, when someone visits welcome, we could just say hello everyone. So when someone visits the default home page, just return hello everyone. So let's see, I've changed that. I'll simply come here and refresh, and what do we see? Blank page with hello everyone. Okay, Ctrl Z. Let's get back to what we had before. So which means we can define more routes. So if we wanted to define more routes, we can say get request. Get request is if the person clicks a link, or let's say about, when the person checks out about page. We should have something like this: return a view file named about. And then what we'll quickly do is to come to our view page and create a new file, and I'll click on save. When you click on save, we can now name the file about.blade.php, and you hit on save. And if you're observant, you notice that inside our view resources view we have welcome.blade. Alright, and inside our about page there is nothing there. We could just type h1. There is nothing there. To tell you, this is essentially a HTML page. Blade is a templating engine. This templating engine, there is a way to reference some PHP variables and stuff like that. We'll get to that. So, but just know that you can write raw HTML here. Okay, and basically HTML, raw CSS, raw JavaScript. Okay, for instance, we could do style color red. Alright, so let's go to our page and refresh refresh. Oops, something went wrong. Unexpected end of file. So we definitely had an error somewhere, and obviously we didn't put a semicolon at the end, and then we get back, we'll refresh, and our error is gone. So we have this guy, and remember in the route we defined that if somebody visits /about, that we should render a view called about. And when you go to the resources folder, we created a file called about.blade.php. Inside that file we have written just this. So we are going to visit about /about, and we hit enter, and guess what shows up? There is nothing there. And who said that? This is what we just wrote here. And remember, we colored it red. If you color it blue, so this is just to tell you that you can write raw JavaScript and HTML here. If we go here and refresh, we have it blue. Alright, that's one way to route our files, to do routing in Laravel. But then if you're observant, if you're coming from other frameworks, you will notice that this is just jumping from the route there to the views. What if we pass through a controller? But first of all, let's see something that is in the home page in welcome.php. I'll quickly show you how to when we're back here, how to link files. Remember, in this this is home and it's welcome.php page, and we have some links here. What if we wanted to change this? So let's go to Blade, welcome.blade, and this is the file. It's, as you can see, it's a full HTML file. We are building a blog site, we'll say Laravel blogger, and then this is the CSS, and we're scrolling down. We look for this guy Laravel here. That's this guy here. So we're going to change it to Laravel blog. Then these links here, we're going to change them to home, about, contact, news, and then what else should be here? Account or something, whatever. Okay, so we have this guy here. So how do we link these guys? So home, remember home, when someone clicks home, it should just take them to this route. So remember that in our web.php, we defined that this should take us to home. So in our welcome.blade.php, what of about page? Where should about take us? It should take us to /about. And so on contact page should take us to /contact, and news should take us to /news, and so on and so forth. Then you have account /account. So when you go to our famous site and refresh, I'm refreshing right now, and what we have is Laravel blog, and we have home, about, contact, news. So when we click on about, what do we have? It takes us to this place. So I'm going to go back one more time and click on about, and what do we have here? We have this guy. There is nothing there. Alright, when you click on other ones like contact, guess what will happen? Because we've not created it, we have an error. No found HTTP exception route collection. This is basically telling you that your route system is broken, and so on and so forth. So one more thing we're going to look at is we're going to create a controller, because sometimes when you're creating your file, actually your website, actually you don't just want things, you essentially want to do some what do you call it, some coding. You want to perform some manipulation before you eventually route to a view. For instance, if you want to retrieve the list of posts your web page, you essentially want to get the post from your model and eventually rearrange the post before sending them to the view. So that means it has to pass through a controller. In this routing, we're just jumping straight to the view. But traditionally, if we wanted to do some manipulation, we'll first of all route to a controller. Then from the controller, we'll route to a view. So let's see, which means we need to create a controller. Remember that here is where Laravel saves the controller. So you go to app, HTTP. You can manually create it by typing new file and stuff, but then it will be an empty file if you do that. But there is a way to create it from your command prompt. So you create a new command prompt. This is the one we are using to run the Laravel. Remember, if you wanted your Laravel app to display, you have to run PHP artisan serve when you are in the folder. All right. So you basically navigate to the folder of your Laravel app and run PHP artisan serve. All right, so this time around we have to create another window. So I'll click Ctrl+C on my keyboard, then I'll right click, I'll open a new Node.js command prompt, and I'll cd navigate to my directory, right click. I right clicked on my mouse and it pasted what I copied, then you hit enter, and then we are inside this folder. So what we have to do is to create a new file, a new controller. We'll run PHP artisan make controller, and what's the name of the controller we want to make? We want to make a pages controller. There are many types of, you decide what to name your controller, but it should be start with a capital letter, be in plural, then the controller itself should start with a capital letter, be in plural. You must name them together. So this is the command for naming controllers, and this is the name of your controller. So hit enter. It has created it successfully, which means if we get back to our Sublime text, and if we look at app, HTTP, controllers, you'll see that it has created a new file called pages controller. Let's copy this and or let's copy this and we go to our pages controller. Then inside our pages controller, we create a function. I call it public function get about. I named mine anything I want. You could name your function anything, then you call your view from there. We'll say return view about. But I'm using get because people have to visit it through the webs, through get. People have to access this through get. If it was a form that somebody was going to submit on the contact us page, for instance, I say contact function, I could say post contact. So somebody gets to my contact page and submits the contact form. I process it with this, but for the person to get to the contact page, I can say public function gets contact. So it all depends on whether it's get, post, put. So I use it to know what my function, once I look at the function name, I know exactly what to expect. So this does the magic for us. So what we have to do is to copy and get back to our web.php and actually properly reference it. So to reference it properly, what we are going to do is this. So we'll say pages controller at get about. So we're saying, hey, go to pages controller and access this function when someone visits about. Okay, sorry for that. So that's what we're essentially saying. Okay, then we refresh, then we click about, and it takes us to about again. So as it works perfectly well. So someone visits about, it gets to pages controller, and inside the function that we have, it returns about. So here you can do some crazy stuff, and it will still work perfectly before you actually call your view. So you can do some nice stuff. In the next tutorial, we'll see how to do some just a little stuff before we call our view. So thank you very much. Do not forget to like and subscribe to my channel, and let's see in the next tutorial.